What's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are here in Texas at Eagles Canyon Raceway with Toyota for the HQ Confidential Media event. And one vehicle I definitely wanted to get my hands on while we were here in Texas is right next to me. This is the first time ever with a refresh and a little bit of a change up, 2021 Toyota Camry XSE. But here's the big change, hybrid XSE. But before we get into this sports style, fuel sipping midsize sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. The Camry, that really has been that major nameplate that has stood the test of time, has won so many accolades and continues, even though we are in this refresh portion of the current generation of the Camry, still a lot of great things happening, especially like I said, with this being the first year ever where you could have your sporty style, your sporty fun, but you could also get that hybrid setup. When you're looking at mid-size sedans at this price point that are hybrid, not as many competitors as you would think. Of course, you have the arch rival, the nemesis for so many decades, the Honda Accord hybrid. You do have that newcomer, the Hyundai Sonata hybrid, and that's pretty much it. Because Mazda isn't bringing it, Kia isn't bringing it, and remember, we're talking about specifically this style and this price point. So let's go ahead. Let's see, has Toyota continue to strike gold with their midsize sedans? And is this Camry hybrid the better midsize fuel saver than the Honda Accord and definitely the Hyundai Sonata hybrid? Let's find out with our 2021 XSE trim of a Camry. Right off the bat, we're going to talk about redesign. So this is your redesigned front fascia. They went ahead and did some work with the daytime running lamps. I actually like what they did. They did some nice style, bright white LED daytime running lamps. Of course, you're going to have your LED projector style headlight. But the way the headlight housing, I think with the daytime running lamps, it actually just really makes everything look cleaner. You're going to have this nice dark metallic gray finish. I'm glad that it's not just gloss black everywhere. As we work our way down, the big zonk is right here, this fake corner vent area. I wish they would have put maybe some fog lamps, something other than just pure fake vent, but I do still like the aggressive look of this Camry. And coming from the previous generation, for sure it does not look like a refrigerator on four wheels. Now on the XSE trim, you are gonna get some nice flat metallic silver on that lower lip area. And remember, the great news is no matter which midsize hybrid that you go with, it doesn't have to look like a science experiment like the older hybrids. This looks like a regular Camry, but you're getting that fuel saving strategy and you're getting, of course, the sportier look with the XSE trim. Now, as we come across that updated refresh nose, I like the way they bring the body color into this little V area. You're gonna get a forward-facing camera, which is a nice touch, that metallic gray, and then you do have functionality with that larger lower opening of the grille. Also, your upper corners are functional as well. They decided to go take that silver straight across, but then they went with the metallic gray that we find up here. They brought it to that lower lip area, but definitely keeping that wide, aggressive look for a Camry. Now, when we get up onto the hood, everything else is gonna remain the same. You have your slight body lines that pick up. Look at that blue sparkle, like a blue diamond in this Texas sun. And then you're gonna have a rise, slight little bulge, nothing too crazy to write home about. V's off towards the 8 pillars, and then everything just smooths out. As we come around the bend, a lot of times on hybrids, you get some funky looking wheels. They look like pinwheels and stuff. Well, guess what? On our XSE trim, you're gonna get this multi-spoke gloss black wheel. Really is working well with the metallic blue. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? So you're basically looking at a 19-inch wheel. Tire is gonna be 235 on the width and a 40 series sidewall. This is part of that XSE trim. Remember, it's not just an appearance thing. Toyota claims that they do retweak the dampers, all four corners, and some of the chassis to give you a little bit more sportier overall feel and driving experience. But definitely, I think clean wheel design, working well with the side of the vehicle, nice multi-spoke design. You do have your hybrid badge, very tasteful. It's not too large, and I think they placed it in a very good position on that fender. Mirror caps are color matched. You do have some shiny bit with those really small LED lights. I think one of the things I would have liked to have seen is, with this being the sporty trim, all this bright shiny metalwork should be blacked out, like a black chrome finish. I think that would have just been that extra little cherry on top of this hybrid Sunday. But you do have the really small turn signals. You'll notice the side sill, nice extension. Remember, all of this is for aerodynamic efficiency to get those major MPGs. There's the bright shiny metalwork, both top and bottom. When you go XSE trim, let me know if you think that this should be a zonk. You don't get any kind of sunroof. No panoramic sunroof, no small sunroof. You don't even get like a coffee can hole size in the roof to be able to see anything. So let me know, put that in the comment section, what you think if this should have a sunroof at this price point. Now, as we work our way down, this blue really fits the overall style of the vehicle, and the black wheels really bring that sporty essence to it. Color matched shark fin antenna. We wrap around the rear. You're gonna get this nice trunklet spoiler, just a little bit to give you that extra sport style to it. You'll see the continued work with the LED taillights. The chrome finish in there, I don't know. It's, like I said, I think when you go sport, anytime you have a lot of shiny stuff happening, kind of lessens that sport effect. But on the rear bumper area, they continue with this fake vent. We are gonna have to zonk that because of the way the bumper meets with that side fender. But then you're gonna get, remember, first time ever XSE hybrid. I like the Camry lettering. They did a great job. Looks very 21st century with the blue around the Toyota badge, which means that this is a what? Tell me. Back there, you're sitting in the corner, stop eating. Yes, this is a hybrid. That's what the blue stands for. Work your way down. XSE trim gives a very nice lower rear diffuser area, which looks great. And then you do get your exhaust on one side. I think with this being a hybrid, I know that it does not have the V6, but it would have been nice to have the balance of the quad tip exhaust. But it is a staggered pipe system where you actually have the closer inward one extends a little bit further than the outside one. But I really like this rear diffuser. But since we're talking about hybrid technology, let's pop the hood in this Camry and see what we're looking at. All right, guys, we do have the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. On an XSE trim, it would be nice to have the hydraulic hood truss, but the good news is it's very far to the passenger side. Underneath that hood, you're gonna see that familiar tried and true power plant. What is it? We are looking at that naturally aspirated 2.5 liter inline four. That alone produces 176 horsepower, 163 pound-feet of torque. You do have it mated, because we're talking about hybrid, you do have it mated to an electric motor that the motor itself produces 118 horsepower, 149 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a Cvt transmission, so I know how you feel about that. And you do have the older battery technology. It's that nickel metal hydride battery rather than the lithium ion battery. Now here's the great news. 0 to 60, you're not gonna be blowing anybody's doors off, but 7.8 seconds, top speed 116 miles an hour. I think when you look at the Honda Accord, when you look at the Sonata, where you're gonna come out the winner is gonna be 44 MPGs in the city, 47 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 3,700 pounds. And like I said, from a styling standpoint, obviously beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I really think that with the XSE trim, it hits a nail on the head when it comes to that style. When you're looking at the Accord, and definitely that some people feel is that catfish whale shark design of a Sonata. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the interior, because guess what? We talked about some changes, we talked about some updates. There's definitely some in there. Let's go see it. All right, guys, we're inside this 2021 refresh, updated, and a new trim to the hybrid. This is that Camry XSE hybrid. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I was this close of going Sonata hybrid or going Accord hybrid. I'm so glad that you found this one finally. How much is it? Because I know how much the competition costs. How much is this one? MSRP, the way that this one is optioned, is right at around $37,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panel. So Toyota does a great job with clean design. And when you're comparing this to the Accord, you're definitely getting that purely black door panel. So soft touch material up top. There's a little bit of silver trim, and it's nice how it kind of flows into the door handle. Very similar to what you're going to find on Accord, but Sonata, believe it or not, I think is bringing a little bit more. Now, you do have the flat color on the area where the controls are for your door locks and the windows, which is good, so you're not going to get fingerprints. The armrest is semi-soft, and you do have some white contrast stitching there. The bad news is door pocket is very, very tight. Maybe a bottle of Yoo-Hoo and one donut. You're just going to have to go glaze, skip the jelly-filled or the Boston cream. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, what I like about the XSE interior is this trim here. It's not meant to look like carbon fiber at all, but it looks very stylish instead of just gloss black. Soft touch material with the stitch work. You do get some gloss black as you travel towards, guess what? The all new infotainment system. 9-inch, we got the optional JBL sound system, multi-speaker sound system. Is it a touchscreen? Yes, it is. Easy to use, very intuitive. You know what? I actually like it better than when it was integrated in the center here, because even though it does extend past the dash, it's in the perfect line of sight line. So as you're driving, it's not going to block anything, but you could get to all the different things. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, very nicely done. Let me throw it into reverse for you. There's your backup camera. You do have trajectory. You also have 360. The only challenge is it's on the grainy side. So I am going to zonk that. I would like to see a little bit better camera quality, but we'll put it back in the park. And then, like I said, to get to everything, very, very easy. And I'm actually liking the overall setup with it. Now, you do have your AC vents blended in very nicely. You got dual climate control. Of course, with this being a hybrid, you got your power on button. That's how they do it in hybrids and EVs. But your dual climate control, a little bit of that metallic gray kind of separating this. And believe it or not, it still bothers me how this design kind of separates you from the passenger. But overall, this cleans it up greatly. Now, this is going to control that Cvt transmission in the hybrid. If you go with a Camry XSE with a V6, for example, you will get the 8-speed automatic. I'm actually going to move it out of the way so that Lori can showcase that you do have wireless charging. And look at how smart this is. It actually slides forward, and then you got a cubby for up to 6 Twinkies. Toyota is thinking about your Twinkies. A guy wants somebody looking out for his Twinkies. You do have a 12-volt, and you also have a USB, all conveniently located for the driver. The bad news is, for the passenger, it's kind of a challenge for them to even see this area, let alone get to it. So that would be one thing that I would like to see on a redesign, that they kind of reconfigure that. You have 3 drive modes, Eco, Normal, and Sport. You could go full EV as well. I do like this material here, this metallic gray, dark color, no fingerprints, 2 cup holders. Here is your Camry Hybrid, because it's got the blue key fob. Flip it around. There's your buttons. It's still on the cheaper side. I would like to see, you hear that? It's just that the plastic is cheap. So it would be nice if they kind of use some actual different materials. But you do have on the XSE heated and ventilated seats. That's a nice addition. Soft touch on this armrest. Lift that bad boy up. Guess what? You could actually put about, let's say you want to eat a little healthy, I would say 6 bananas in there. And you got a USB-C and a USB. So that's where your passenger is probably going to want to access their connectivity. Seats, I like what they did for 2021. Just a little bit of Alcantara material, nothing too crazy, but the perforated looks good. Nice, soft material. You got electric assist for the passenger and the driver. And like we pointed out, no actual sunroof. The headliner is nice and light color, so it kind of brightens up with all this other dark material. And they still are using the older style mirror, where it is obviously auto dimming, but this thick frame needs to go. It just kind of makes it heavy right here. So we are going to zonk that. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Camry XSE Hybrid. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel of the XSE. I do love this beautiful aluminum trim that they have on the sill, the Camry logo that is going to illuminate very nicely, and then you're going to have your seat controls, easy to get to. Overall, I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom, plenty of room just width-wise. You do have a heated steering wheel. I do like the thickness of the wheel. The one thing that isn't sporty, that isn't sexy, is the horn button. I wish that they would change up the horn button, maybe on the redesign, but I like the flat black on the buttons of the steering wheel. You do have paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go through those simulated gears, because this is a CVT. And then the dash, very, very straightforward. Just like before, you're going to have that large digital display in the center, 7-inch digital display, and then you got your power gauge On the left, analog, and then you have an analog speedometer and fuel gauge. I do love all the features that you could actually bring up on this screen when it comes to charging, your range, lane keep assist, all those goodies. But overall, nicely done. And you have a supersized head-up display, which is great. That's a nice little extra addition. But why don't we get to the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna enjoy riding with you in this hybrid Camry. All right, guys, back seat time. And the great news is, even though this is a hybrid, you still got plenty of interior room for the rear seat passengers. And when, you know, we're trying to compare this to the Sonata and to the Accord, I think interior-wise, you're getting just as much, maybe even a little bit more room than the Sonata. It's gonna be close between this and the Accord, but let's talk about what you're seeing in here. You have these super size rear seat pockets, and what you're gonna wanna put there are some very long USB cords, and you'll see exactly why. As we slide to the center here, you are gonna have your rear AC, the Zonk, which I can't believe, no connectivity back here. No USBs, no USB-Cs, no 12 volt, nothing. You don't even have anywhere to put anything when it comes to this center area. That's why it's good. Like I said, get a little bit longer USB cord so you can run it to the front or definitely underneath this beast. But 6 feet tall, I feel good back here. The great news is you are gonna get an armrest. Nice and soft. I think they have actually Charmin designing these now because that's how soft they are. 2 cup holders, and the seat material is really great. I mean, it looks nice, high quality, but why don't we get to the trunk and see how much we can haul, because we're gonna be going a very long distance in this Camry Hybrid. All right, guys, time to get into the trunk. You hit the button. Gonna have to use your own muscles to lift it up, but the great news is, being a hybrid, you're not compromising any of the space. Nice wide opening, nice low cargo floor. Toyota does a great job with engineering little levers to allow those seats to fold down. It's gonna give you the 60-40 Tango split. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, how much room do I have back here? You're looking at 15 cubic feet of space, plus, remember, a lot of manufacturers are getting rid of spares. You actually get a spare in your Camry XSE Hybrid. But you know what? Let me tuck this all back in. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go hypermile this Camry and see how far we could get. All right, guys, we're in this 2021 Toyota Camry XSE Hybrid. Like we mentioned earlier in this review, this is the first time that the sporty XSE trim is able to be combined with the hybrid setup. Now, driving down the highway here in Texas, it's interesting because every time I drive a hybrid, I really start to appreciate even more how having that battery with the hybrid system actually lowers the center of gravity. That's going to increase your handling, but it also makes an even more enjoyable ride as we go down this highway. And I'm telling you right now, I'm actually quite surprised how well this Camry is going over these expansion joints. Very, very smooth, not a lot of hopping around. The new 9-inch infotainment system is a welcome. It's like they should have just had this from the get-go. And even though it's not nice and neatly integrated into the center stack, I think from a visual reference standpoint and definitely accessibility, it's even better. We got the JBL multi-speaker sound system. These seats are fantastic. We've driven, Lori and I have driven from Atlanta, Georgia to Tampa, Florida in a Camry, and it was actually super comfortable. And this XSE, even though it is a sporty trim, still has all that great comfort. I like the nice 7-inch digital display. It's showing me how that hybrid power is being transferred with the battery charging and everything, and that's just going to allow you to hypermile this mid-size sedan unlike any of the competition. And remember, who are we looking at the big competitors? You're looking at the Sonata Hybrid and the Accord Hybrid, because there is no Mazda 6 Hybrid. There is no Kia K5 Hybrid. So kind of narrows down the choices at this price point. Having the ventilated seats, I'm like, as soon as I got into it, I was like, heck yeah, because what I'm learning is that Texas is just as hot as Florida from time to time. So it's nice to be able to have those ventilated seats and to have the sportier interior. It definitely makes it feel like a different Camry. And I really, really think that was smart of Toyota to do with matching the hybrid setup. And the XSE trim. Your passengers in the back are gonna have plenty of room. Visibility is great. And I'm telling you right now, wind noise is at a minimum. I'm actually hearing just a tad more road noise than wind noise. But we're going to continue this journey to the racetrack here to test out some of Toyota's other vehicles on the track. Not this particular one, but we're gonna get to some rural roads and see how this Camry Hybrid XSE does the business. All right, guys, we found a little bit of a back road here. Kind of just want to show how this Camry Hybrid XSE trim drives. Even on back roads, still getting that same nice ride quality. Now, this road is a little bit more rough than on the highway we were on, so I'm noticing a little bit more of the vibration being transferred from the wheels and tires to the seat and to the interior. But other than that, it feels really, really nice and comfortable, especially for those longer drives, because guess what? You're not going to be stopping for fuel very much with one of these hybrid Camrys. But I want to slow down a little bit. Yes, we do have a CVT, but we need to do a little bit of on throttle. It wouldn't be Raiti's rides without it. So from a dead stop, if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So with the CVT, it kind of just, when you're on throttle, foot to the floor, the revs just stay pegged and not the fastest of acceleration. It's a little bit of a bummer because, you know, wouldn't it be nice to maybe have 2 electric motors to really kind of help propel us a little bit? So obviously nobody's buying this car to have, you know, quarter-mile blazing time, a 10-second car. If you're trying to get Vin Diesel a 10-second car, don't get him this one. But if you want to get Vin Diesel a car that has a range that he could go and visit every single drag strip in the United States, this might be the midsize sedan for Vin Diesel for you to bring to him. But going down the road, like I said, just nice, comfortable. Steering doesn't have a heavy feel to it, which is nice. You do have your 3 different driving modes: normal, sport, and eco. And then you do have the paddles for the simulated gears. And I know you're saying, Joe, do the simulated gears. Let's see what the on throttle is like with the simulated gears. So we're gonna come to another dead stop here. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So here's the bizarre thing. Going through the simulated gears, the revs still stay pegged, so not too sure if I really enjoy that setup. But at the end of the day, like I said, you're looking for a midsize sedan. If you're looking at the Sonata, if you're looking at the Accord Hybrid, the Camry is just bringing that extra range. And of course, that reliability that's just bulletproof. Visibility is great out the front, nice large side mirrors. You're getting all that Toyota sensing technology, blind spot monitoring, lane keeping assist, lane steering assist. I mean, you're getting a plethora of different safety features. Really soaks the bumps up nicely, which is great. And then you got the sportier appearance, which I think many people are gonna like with this Camry. But we're going to go ahead and get back to where it all started and wrap up this review. So hopefully this has been informative. I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a wonderful time here in Texas with Toyota at Eagles Canyon Raceway. Yeah, we didn't take this out on the racetrack, but it was great to take it out on the highways, byways, and those rural roads to really showcase what the Camry Hybrid brings to the table compared to the competition, and having it with the XSE trim and the changes for 2021. Is this the midsize hybrid sport style sedan you should be buying? That's really up to you, but you're definitely gonna wanna add to the list, and it's definitely bringing a lot for the money. But if you wanna keep seeing fuel sippers on Raiti's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. If you wanna help us keep making great content just like this for you, click the first link, become a Raiti's Rides Patreon member. Click the second link, get get yourself some Raiti's Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera. She is rock solid, holding the fort down here in Texas. Show Lori some love in that comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.